What's up, dudes, and welcome back again. Today we're talking about some more rare Switch games that I believe you should pick up before they become super rare and expensive. Let's get into it. So the first game that I want to talk about is a game that came out recently, and it is so freaking cool. I absolutely love this game, and that game is called Makina. So this game is by NIS, or NIS. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but this game is absolutely incredible. The music is really good. The gameplay is awesome. This is an action JRPG, kind of borderline visual novel. And the one thing that got my attention right away was the music. I cannot tell you guys enough how freaking awesome the music is. I actually want to buy the collector's edition just so I can have that soundtrack. So you play as this girl. She's kind of like a robot cyborg. There's a point too where she actually wants to become human, and there's just this whole story behind it, and it's beautiful. There's a lot of touching moments. It's actually really deep at times too. It really makes you think, like, yeah, there's a lot of hard times in life and whatnot, but in the end, existing is a beautiful thing. This game is very techy, very sci-fi. I absolutely love it. Everything tech, futuristic, I'm all for it. And this game scratches that itch completely. So yeah, if you're looking for a fun, futuristic, half visual novel, half action RPG, it's kind of somewhat of a JRPG, you're gonna love this one. Highly recommend checking it out. The next game I want to talk about is Marin Forest. So I'm actually not really sure how to pronounce the name. It's Marin Forest? I'm not really sure. But you play as this weird little cat elf hobbit thing. I don't really know exactly what she is, but she's pretty cool. This is a fun, charming game. This is like part JRPG, part dungeon crawler. In the beginning of the game, it starts off as like a regular JRPG. You're in your town, you do these little quests, you have potions, you gotta gather all kinds of stuff. And then you find out that your mom and your grandparents have this secret they're hiding from you, this knowledge about your family. And you end up wanting to find more about that secret. So you go off on the adventure, and you go off into these dungeons and secret layers, and it's really cool. Yeah, if you're into cozy end-of-day JRPGs or dungeon crawlers for that matter, this is the perfect game for wintertime, fall time, those kind of vibes. You're gonna love it. And number 3 is Fatal Frame, Maiden of Black Water. This game is another great Fatal Frame game. It is so freaking cool. The characters are really good as well. It kind of follows the same kind of stories as the other Fatal Frame games, so it's nothing too different, but the gameplay is really good. And the one thing too that I absolutely love about horror games is the atmosphere. There's not a lot of music in this game, but the atmosphere really draws you in. The footsteps you hear, like the creaking in the forest, when you're walking through the different houses, the sounds of the house itself because it's old, they really capture this ambience, and it's really immersive. They put you in the game. It's really cool. Especially too when you're like by a waterfront or you're by bushes and stuff, you can hear the crickets in the water and they kind of go from one headphone to the other. This is a game you definitely want to play with headphones. It's very environmental. Another thing I love too about horror games is the dark atmosphere. There's something cozy about it. I don't exactly know what it is, but if you know, you know. This is another Fatal Frame game that I highly recommend checking out. I reviewed Mask of the Lunar Eclipse in my previous video. That one's a great one as well too. This is an import from Korea, so if you're going to buy the game, I recommend buying the Korean version because the Japanese version does not support English, but the Korean version does. And number 4 is going to be Atelier, the Mysterious Trilogy Pack, Deluxe Edition. So there's 3 games involved in this one. You get Atelier Sophie, Atelier Lydia and Sue-Elle, and Atelier Fierce. I think that personally my favorite is going to be Lydia and Sue-Elle. The gameplay is really good, and I just prefer their story more. Atelier Sophie is definitely iconic. That's one of the most, well-known characters in the whole Atelier series, and that's the first game that comes with it. And it's actually really good. Atelier Fierce I have not played too much of yet. I started a file, but I didn't get that far into the game. But Lydia and Sue-Elle is definitely my favorite. If you're into anime vibes and JRPGs, really cool music, and just a fun, charming atmosphere, you're gonna love this game. And last but not least is one of my all-time favorites, and it's a complete blast to play. Every survival horror fan knows it. and that's going to be Resident Evil Revelations. This game is great, absolutely great. If you're a fan of Resident Evil and survival horror and more action-based, this one's definitely for you. Yes, you can find this game for pretty cheap right now, but I'm starting to see them less and less, especially at retro gaming stores near me. You can't find them at all anymore. You can definitely find them sometimes on Amazon and eBay, but if you're going to pick one up, I would do it sooner than later. Like I said, this one's a bit more action-based, so if you're a fan of Resident Evil 4, this one's definitely for you. The gameplay is really good and the Switch handles it very, very well. It runs and looks great. If you're a survival horror fan like myself, this one needs to be in your collection. Alright, well there you have it. There's another list of 5 games I recommend you guys checking out before they become rare and expensive. If there's any games that you guys recommend that I check out, please leave them in the comments. I read every one of your comments, every single one. Don't believe me? Try me. Alright, well if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.